What's going on, everybody? Today we have a special treat. We have this 1980s Hutch Tickstar. I'm so jealous of this. I've been trying to find one of these things for years, and I absolutely love this bike. It's got the Sagino 3-piece cranks. It's got the MKS composite pedals on here. Let me see, these are the graphite. Yeah, the Graphite X pedals. You're going to have your classic Diacomp MX brakes on here, and of course you can't, it's not complete without some good Skyways on here. Now, what we're going to be doing with this is this customer, he actually wants to hang this up in his office, but he wants to be able to pull this down every once in a while and ride it. So the plan is we're going to go ahead and take this thing apart. We're going to clean it up really good. And as you can see in the pictures here, it needs a little bit of TLC. The frame needs to be cleaned up. The cranks have a little bit of rust on there. We're going to get that cleaned up. The wheels. Now, if you look at the wheels, these wheels are kind of they're very yellowed, and the problem is this plastic is getting very old. Whenever you kind of scrape it a little bit with your fingernail, the plastic is just coming right off. So we're going to save these wheels, because here's one thing. This has the original Hutch tires on here, but they are so rock hard that I'm going to destroy these tires by taking them off the wheels. And even if I put new tires on here, I'm afraid that if you were to ride this bike the way it is, what's going to happen is the wheels are probably going to break. Well, these are original 80s Skyways, so we have some new Skyways that's going to look great on here. See, the other issue is since these wheels are very yellowed, they don't match the parts. The Diacomp brakes are a very nice bright white, and same with the handlebar here and the stem. So these are all a very nice, very bright white. The seat that we're going to be putting on this is a newer plastic seat, so you can actually use it. We've got an SE seat. I know it's not original, but keep in mind he's wanting to cruise around on this every once in a while. Well, all these parts are going to be a nice, very pretty white, and the new wheels are going to match, and he'll be able to cruise around on them. If he messes up the new wheels, who cares about the new wheels? They're nice, but we can always replace them. It's a little harder to replace these. Even if you did replace them with some original Skyways, they're going to be old, and they might be brittle as well. So you'll notice that he's got some pink on here. He's got an old 80s pink GT seat post. He's also got some pink grips on here, which are in horrible shape. The reason why he's got pink on here is whenever he was riding out at a skate park, Mike Miranda was actually there, and Mike rode for Hutch, and his thing is his thing was pink. His bike was pink, everything was pink, and Mike actually saw him cruising around on a Hutch, and of course he rode for Hutch, and he was like, "Hey, let me try your bike out." And he was like, "Okay." So he let Mike ride it, and Mike just absolutely shredded on this bike, did a bunch of tricks that this bike has never done before or since. And the moment he got home, he went straight over to the local bike shop, and he bought whatever pink they had, which was the grips and the seat post. So that's why it's got some pink on there, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take this bike apart. We're going to go ahead and clean it up really good, and we're going to put it back together. Now we're going to try to keep this as Survivor as possible while still keeping as many of the original parts as possible. The wheels are coming off, so you can actually hang those up in the office because these have the original Hutch tires on there. The seat, well, the seat's broken. I mean, I'm going to save it for them, but it should be just thrown away. And the grips are nasty, so we're going to have some nice pink grips on there. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started on this and take it out for a test ride. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these wheels off. Good gosh. Good gosh. Now you want to make sure that when you're removing the pedals on here, that the pedals on, or the pedal on the left side is actually reverse threaded. I like to picture putting the wrench on here and pedaling forward. So we're going to hold the wrench and kind of pedal forward. So see, pedal forward and the pedals start coming off. And just like on the right side, we're going to hold the wrench and pedal forward. And it breaks loose. Now you want to be careful with these Sagino little caps here. You want to find something as large as possible to fill the gap in there. So I'm going to use this large Park Tool tire lever here, and I'm just going to carefully unscrew it. And luckily this one is not stuck. So we've got our little nut there. It's a 14 millimeter. So we're going to break this free. It's been on there for many years. And you really want to make sure to use the proper tools. What we're going to be using here is we're going to be using a Park Tool CCP-22. That is the proper crank puller for this. And it's super important that whenever you're using this, that you thread the tool all the way in the fixed part. So we're going to go ahead and start to thread this in. And it's real easy to cross thread. We don't want to do that. But these threads, ugh. are kind of nasty, so we're going to be very careful here. Is that going in straight? Nope, that's crooked. So let's try this again. I'm going to kind of, okay, that looks good. So after I start threading it in, I turn the crank to make sure that it's not wobbling. If it's wobbling, then that's a good indication that it's not in properly. So we're going to go ahead and thread this in all the way until it stops. Try not to let that fall out. Okay, so this is in there secure. We're going to thread this tool in, and then we're going to go ahead and break it free. So that's pushing a pin through, which is pushing it onto the bottom bracket, pulling the crank arm off. Just go to the other side and repeat. Let's go ahead and remove the left side now. And you really want to have a nice box to put these parts in so you don't misplace them. I hate that squeaking. We're going to tighten the tool in. Hopefully the other part doesn't flop out. Okay. Remove that crank arm. We're going to cut the brake cables because this thing's getting some brand new brake cables. We're going to remove the brakes. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and take these cables off. Again, we're putting new ones on. Don't need to bother saving them. But we will need to be saving the little ferrules here because they're special ones for the brake. Okay, so we can just pull this out. Ooh, okay. Those cables used to be pink instead of white. I hope I have some pink cables. Let's get the stem out. Ooh, that's a 15. Now, sometimes that is not a 15. It's a standard. Okay. So, whenever you go to take these old quilled stems out, sometimes they they don't move, they're stuck. So what you've got to do is you've got to get a plastic or rubber mallet and just give that top bolt, after it's loose, just a firm smack. And then comes right off. We're going to go ahead and take the handlebars off. We're taking this thing all apart. Now, is this standard as well? Nope, it's metric. Okay. This thing's probably been on for so long that even after I get these bolts out, it's probably going to stay. No, it's not. I can feel it slipping already. Yep. Now, with these light colored parts, we're going to be using a clear grease, because I don't want these parts stained. Keep track of these bolts here. Okay, we have the handlebars off, we've got the stem off. Figured there'd be a master link on this train, but I am not seeing one anywhere. So we're going to have to break this chain. That's fine. Let's get these brakes off. Okay. Now you can use a large adjustable wrench for this job, or a 30 and 32 millimeter headset wrench. I'm just going to use an adjustable wrench on this because I'm just taking it apart. Putting it together, we're going to need the proper tool. Now, I'm a little excited to see this. All the original Hutches that I've seen, the ones that I've seen, they've had a Hutch sticker on the inside on the steer tube, and oh, there we are. We got our Hutch sticker right there. Genuine Hutch World Champion product. For this next step, you're going to need one of these original crank arms and your wrench to break this free. That washer's stripped, but that's all right. Okay, be very careful with wiping the decals, because the paint, the white comes off.
So wipe it lightly or don't wipe it?
You can wipe it one time lightly, but don't do it anymore.
Wow.
Is it coming off?
Really likes the paint.
Oh, is it coming off?
No, the actual like red. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
A really nice color.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this on time lapse. We're going to go ahead and get this thing cleaned up real good. So y'all enjoy the music, and we're going to get busy. I am officially jealous. I absolutely love this bike. This bike turned out great. Absolutely great. The frame looks wonderful. It did clean up pretty well. The cranks, we got the rust taken off the cranks. We did put the new wheels on there, but we saved the old wheels because getting rid of those old wheels, even though they're kind of old and crusty, would be a little wrong. But you can just see the difference between these old wheels. These old wheels are very yellowed, and they're very, well, they're just nasty looking. We could have cleaned them up a little bit, but they would still be yellow. And the problem is, those rims can't clean up. They wouldn't match the handlebars, the stem, the tires, the seat, or the seat clamp. That would have been the only thing yellow on this bike. So it really seemed to make sense to me to just put these new wheels on there because he can ride it. It looks great. Everything matches on this bike, and that is a really good thing. I really love this bike. It's interesting, the parts that he put on this. Now, it's all era correct. This old redline stem, the CW bars are a nice touch. This was just this is a really cool bike. And I wish I had one. So I am going to be on the lookout. I've been on the lookout, actually, come to think of it, for a Hutch Tickstar, and then here this one comes in here. So I hope y'all enjoyed this bike as much as I enjoyed working on it. So thank you for the customer for bringing this in to have us fix it up for you. If you ever decide to sell it, let me know, because I love this bike. Now, if you enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget to tell your friends. Check out some of the other videos on the corner of the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.